Director Brock Long providing an update on Hurricane Michael. Let's listen in.
Critical lifeline took a hit too. Several hospitals were impacted. Federal forces.
All right, it looks like our feed with Brock Long went down. We'll see if we can get that back up. But an update at this time, obviously critical in the hours since the sun has started to rise down in Florida to see what the actual destruction is in that area since this made landfall yesterday afternoon.
Back to the briefing now. We have it. We have it restored.
We continue to focus on that area. And then once that happens, the goal is to get the private sector back in. Private sector and getting things back up and running and getting a routine pushing forward. But that's a conversation for a later day right now. Right now, the focus is truly on life safety and making sure that we are helping people who may be trapped and pushing through and doing damage assessments to make sure that we fully understand where we need to coordinate our response efforts. Great communication. Spoke with the president, briefed the president last night on Air Force from Air Force One last night. He remains engaged. We processed another declaration request from the state of Georgia. I've personally spoken with Governor Scott as well as Governor Deal this morning to make sure that there were no shortfalls on our end to help them with everything. But again, let's reiterate that this system is ongoing. It's still impacting South Carolina and North Carolina. And we ask citizens to remain vigilant, make sure that they understand all the warnings that are in place, and take this storm seriously as we push forward. So with that, I'm going to push it over to Ken Wedeleski from NOAA, our partners over at NOAA. So Ken, for an update.
Okay, thank you very much. We're looking at now Tropical Storm Michael. It is moving across South Carolina. They will continue to rapidly move to the northeast today across North Carolina. This will spread heavy rainfall across those areas that were impacted due by Hurricane Florence several weeks ago. So we are looking at widespread moderate to locally major river flooding to once again resurface over North Carolina, likely beginning today, continuing for the next several days. Fortunately, the system is moving rather quickly, so it'll be off the coast tomorrow, so we don't expect this flooding to hang around as long as it did during Florence. In addition, we're looking at an enhanced risk for tornadoes today across the Carolinas along the track of Michael. Some of these tornadoes could be strong. That's something to watch out for. And there will be gusty winds and rough surf and beach erosion along the Carolinas today as well. Fortunately, we're looking at improving conditions. High pressure builds in for response and recovery efforts along the Gulf Coast through the weekend. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ken. Next, tremendous partner, that's heavily...
You've been listening to the update from FEMA headquarters in Washington. Brock Long continues with a briefing here. You just heard from NOAA as well, talking about the flooding that still poses a risk everywhere, a wide range of flooding to major flooding. That is going to be watched by rescue crews as they still continue to try to search for anybody who needs help in that area. Brock Long started out by addressing the catastrophic damage that has been seen across the Sunshine State. He made the big point, the goal is to get the private sector back on. So that briefing will continue, and we'll continue to follow all the fallout from Hurricane Michael throughout the morning.
Meantime, a space station on its way to the International